Hello everyone, I'm Vitaly from Good DIY Plans. As a passionate DIY woodworking plan designer and gardening enthusiast, I'm excited to share with you a fantastic planter box design. This planter box is not only cool and easy to make, but is also affordable and incredibly durable. It lasts for up to 5 years. It's a one-time investment that promises long-term benefits. So let's dive in and see how you can create this enduring addition to your garden. Here we have two versions of the planter box, each requiring slightly different sets of lumber. For those opting to build without a trellis, your shopping list includes 10 2x12 by 8 foot boards, shown here in blue. Additionally, you're going to need 4 2x6 by 8 feet boards, shown in peach, also 2 2x6 by 10 feet boards, shown in green, along with 4 2x4 by 8 feet boards, which are shown in pink. This list covers the needs for a planter box without a trellis. For those wishing to add a trellis, simply include an extra 5 2x4s to your shopping list. Alright, now let's focus on the internal dimensions, which are 24 inches deep, 48 inches wide, and 93 inches long. These measurements make the planter box ideal for a variety of plants, from tomatoes to lettuce to cucumbers, peppers, strawberries, herbs, and even zucchini. It's perfect for both a winter and a summer garden. Alright, now let's talk about purchasing the lumber for this project. When you're heading to a store like Home Depot, which is a fantastic place for discounts on lumber, my first stop is always the cull lumber cart. This cart contains wood that might have minor damage or a crack, but here's what's awesome. The lumber there is 70% off. If the cull lumber cart doesn't have what you need, don't worry. From my experience, you can still find what you need by sifting through the main lumber piles. Start with the size that you're looking for example, 2x12 by 8, and examine the available stock. Often you'll find that others have picked through and left behind boards considered less desirable. For our projects, boards with cracks or imperfections are perfectly acceptable. We can work around these flaws by using a planer to make minor adjustments. Remember, we're building a planter box. The lumber doesn't have to be flawless. This applies to all the lumber sizes we're going to be using, whether it's 2x4s or 2x6s, regardless of knots or other imperfections. My approach is to gather these less desirable boards and ask the lumber associate if they can mark them down as cull lumber for a 70% off discount. In my experience, I've always been able to secure a discount this way. The staff usually understands since they'd mark down the cull lumber eventually anyways. Once you get your discounted lumber, you're all set. Now, let's take our material and start building our planter box. Having a workbench is incredibly beneficial for this project, and I can't overstate the importance of wood clamps. They make the assembly process so much smoother and easier and more ergonomic, reducing strain on your hands, your wrists, and your back. So, if you have these tools, you're already off to a great start. Begin by preparing your lumber. Take two 96-inch 2x12 boards and two 48-inch 2x12 boards. Next, arrange them in a rectangle. I recommend pre-drilling holes before driving in the 3.5-inch screws. This step is crucial as it prevents the wood from splitting and it ensures a more durable and secure connection. When working with wood, especially pieces that aren't perfectly straight or have irregular ends, use wood clamps to keep everything aligned. It is not uncommon for the ends not to match perfectly, like they do in a 3D model. In such cases, a handheld planer, whether manual or electric, becomes your best friend. Gently plane the edges until they align perfectly for a seamless fit. I advise against using glue in the assembly of your planter box. The reason is to prevent any potential contamination of the soil with the glue residue. Similarly, avoid using pressure-treated lumber for your planter box to ensure that no chemicals leach into the soil where you're going to be growing food or plants. Now, ensure that all the boards are aligned, leveled, and securely fastened together. You'll be making 2 of these rectangular frames. Once you're done, stack one on top of the other to verify their alignment. They don't need to be perfect, but any significant discrepancies should be addressed with your planer for a smooth finish. Next, we're going to connect these 2 rectangles to form the main structure. For this step, gather your 2x6 boards in peach and 2x4 boards in teal. You'll need to have 4 25.5-inch long 2x4s and 4 25.5-inch long 2x6s to proceed. Join these pieces using 2.5-inch screws. Place the 2 rectangular frames you've assembled earlier, one on top of the other. Then integrate these legs into the main structure, ensuring they're correctly positioned to support the box. The 2x4s and 2x6s will extend slightly by about 3 inches to form the legs of the planter box. They will also conceal any joining parts of the 2x12s. This creates a cohesive and sturdy base for the planter box. For the bottom of the planter box, use 4 2x12 by 8 boards and 1 2x6 by 8 board. Secure them to the main frame. maintaining a 1/8 inch gap between each board. These gaps are crucial for drainage, which will allow water to escape while keeping the soil intact. It is crucial to avoid water accumulation in the planter box, as stagnant water can lead to rot, significantly reducing its lifespan. To prevent this, ensure proper drainage. For additional support, we're going to be introducing three 51-inch 2x4 lumber pieces as leg reinforcements. Secure these with 2.5-inch screws, careful not to have these screws protrude through the lumber. These will act as reinforcement for the legs, providing a stable base for the planter box under the heavy load of soil. Now, adding a trellis is an optional step, depending on whether you aim to maximize your vertical space. Trellises are particularly beneficial for plants like cherry tomatoes or cucumbers, which otherwise spread across the ground. They help keep your garden tidy and make it easier to manage and prune your plants. If you choose to add a trellis, it will support your plants in growing upwards, saving horizontal space in your garden bed. For the trellis construction, prepare two 2x4 lumber pieces, cutting one to 92 3/4 inch and the other to 85 3/4 inch. For these pieces, you'll be making angle cuts at the end, a 60-degree angle for one end and a 15-degree angle for the other. These angles are designed to facilitate the trellis structure and stability. Once shaped, join these pieces using 3.5-inch screws, pre-drilling to avoid splitting. Here, applying wood glue is advisable for enhancing bond strength. Construct two of these triangle supports and then attach them to a planter box for the trellis. Attach these supports using 2.5-inch screws to prevent them from poking through to the other side. Follow by installing a crossbar cut from a 2x4 lumber piece to 90 inches in length to complete the trellis framework. With the trellis assembled, the next step is to add a decorative and functional lip around the planter box. This lip provides a handy space for placing gardening tools while you work. For this, you're going to need two 104-inch and two 59-inch 2x6 boards, with each end cut at 45-degree angles for a neat fit. Secure these boards around the top edge of the planter box to form the lip. Use 3.5-inch screws. This addition not only enhances the planter box appearance, but also its utility. With the assembly complete, your planter box is now ready. For those of you who are interested in a detailed guide to replicate this project, I have prepared a comprehensive DIY PDF for you. This guide includes a materials list, cut list, tools list, lumber shopping list, and step-by-step instructions with both written descriptions and visual aids. You can download the PDF through the link below. Thank you for following along, and I wish you all the best in your gardening this year.